Hi everyone, Cheryl here, popping in with your weekly video, and we are talking about the feminine art of receiving. I've literally just wrapped up a client session about 5 minutes ago, and we were really focused on this, which was really interesting because I was planning to record this video for us this week, with it being Christmas week and with it being a season of giving but also a season of receiving. And it's so interesting that this also came up in a client session today. So, receiving has a lot to do with worthiness. Yes, it's feminine energy to receive, and that's beautiful. But if we don't feel like we're worthy of it, or if things have happened to us that have made us feel like we don't deserve to receive good things, then it's going to be really, really difficult for us to actually receive something. Receiving is really not about what's being given, but it's about the way that we perceive what's being given to us. So it could be a friend helping us out with something. It could be a friend helping us move house, for example. And we say things to them like, oh, you didn't have to do this. You've gone out of your way. Oh, it's been really difficult for you to do this. And when we're doing this, we're pushing away their gift of giving to us instead of just putting our hands on our heart, either metaphorically or literally, when we're in a quiet place on our own, and saying, that was really generous of her. That was really kind. I really appreciate her taking the time out to help me do that. I'm really, really grateful. Thank you. And when we do that, we're able then to return to our friend and say, thank you for helping me with that. I really, really appreciate it. And we're coming from a place of gratitude, and that is, it's like the infinity symbol, because we're receiving something and we're saying thank you, and that person that's given receives our thanks, and it's this back and forth, ebb and flow, this wave-like motion of what it's like to give and receive, and it's two givers giving and receiving to each other, and that's a really beautiful, really healthy place to be. And it gives the gift back to the person that's given to us, because we're fully receiving it and fully appreciating it. There's a phrase we have in England, it's a very British thing, and the phrase is, oh, you didn't have to, or oh, you shouldn't have. When someone gives you a present, you go, oh, you shouldn't have, like you shouldn't have gotten me a gift. And it's a really common thing. An example would be, if someone gives you a Christmas card that you weren't expecting from them, or they give you a bottle of wine, or like a gesture in some way, and you go, oh, you shouldn't have. But it's a lot different to just catch yourself in that and go, wow, that's really generous of you. Thank you so much. What this all comes down to is the connection you have with your heart. Your heart is not just your heart chakra or your heart center, it's your inner child. We metaphorically have our 5 or 6-year-old self, a little miniature version of us right in the center of our chest. And when we are saying things to ourselves or feeding into that story of you don't deserve to receive, that is something we would never say to a 5 or 6-year-old. If you can picture yourself at 5 or 6 years old, you would never say to that child, hey, you don't deserve to receive that gift. You would never do that. So why are you doing it to yourself, and why are you doing that to your own heart and your own inner child? It can be linked to trauma. It can be linked to things we've been through. It can be linked to relationships that have been either unhealthy or toxic, or dare I say abusive. I don't teach on abusive relationships. There are some brilliant teachers out there about that, so do seek them out if that is the case for you. But it starts to feed into this story of I'm not worthy of. Anything that starts with I'm not worthy of or I don't deserve is really, really damaging to our hearts and to our inner child. So I want you to create 4 to 5 affirmations you can say to yourself to really help connect to your heart, connect to your inner child, and connect you to receiving. So it could be, I deserve to receive an infinite amount of good. That is an affirmation by my friend Ruby Fremon. I love it and I use it daily. Another one can be, I am connected to my heart. I trust myself deeply. I really honour myself. I receive fully and graciously and gratefully. I have an open and full and receptive heart. Or whatever those affirmations are for you, you can do all of those things and say all of those things to yourself. And it's less about the words that you're saying and more about the feelings that it's evoking in you. Just as the receiving isn't really about the thing, the physical thing or the service that you're receiving, it's less about the actual thing and more about the feeling it evokes. It's the same with those affirmations. It's less about the words that you're saying and more about the feelings it's evoking in you. Because you can say, I am worthy of love, I am worthy of receiving. And it's like very robotic and you're not feeling it. When you're feeling it, it's very, very different. And it's all about the energy and all about the intention behind it and all about the sensation that evokes in this heart space of yours. It's quite a tough thing to teach on, actually, because it's not something that can be understood with our mind. It has to be felt. It has to be experienced. I've been doing a lot of this work recently. It's been coming up a lot in client sessions. I was asked to do a Heal Your Heart piece for Soul and Spirit magazine, which will be out for their February issue, which comes out mid-January. So when this video is out, it will be out in about 3 weeks, which is really exciting, and it's come up again and again, and in that feature, the Heal Your Heart feature with Soul and Spirit, I've designed a meditation, and what I'm going to do is actually create that meditation so people who read the feature can go and listen to the meditation. And the reason why that's relevant to you is what I'm going to try and do, if I can work out how to do this from a technical perspective, is give you access to that meditation first. I think what it means I'll have to do is upload it twice, and I'll just pop it in our members only area and hopefully give you access to that a little bit early as a little reward for being a part of this beautiful community. So look out for that meditation on opening your heart, and that also gives me an incentive to create it early to make sure it's done in plenty of time. Okay, so I'm just going to read out the first page of this. It talks about the heart and how powerful the heart is and how to really connect with and heal our heart. And I think this is really relevant to what we're saying. So rather than me like saying random bits that I remember, I'm going to read this out to you so you can really receive this fully. We all know the feeling of heartbreak. What we tend not to think about is the reason why it hurts so much, and most importantly, how to heal this pain. Without healing our heart, we cut ourselves off from the endless supply of love, joy, and abundance readily available to us. It's time to heal your heart, and it's my honor to guide you through this process. Let's start by giving heartbreak a little context. Put simply, the reason it hurts so deeply is because it's rubbing up against one of our system's most powerful forces, our heart center. The heart is more powerful than the mind. In fact, the Institute for Emotional Intelligence states the heart transmits 5,000 times more electromagnetic power than the brain. Additionally, we house our deepest wounds within intimacy. Knowing this, it's understandable heartbreak causes us so much distress. How do we heal our hearts? Heart healing has two major components, emotional and energetic. The energetic side of heart healing feels positively dreamy. This has to be felt rather than understood, and we have a beautiful meditation for you which I encourage you to experience fully. Conversely, the emotional side of heart healing is often painful and involves the emotional heavy lifting of looking at our patterns, our wounds, and our triggers. This is critical to your soul's growth and evolution. Spiritual growth combines both the light and the dark. This is the shadow work you have heard about. It's essential you face your shadow side to be a healthy, whole being. And by healing your heart, you are clearing your relationship karma. To heal what hurts and transmute it into a loving vibration is your soul's work. In the piece, I then go on to say that when our heart's open and our wounds are healed, our point of attraction changes in 3 ways. And those 3 ways are: the people who notice us are emotionally healthy, we notice a higher caliber of partner, and we feel attracted to a higher caliber of partner. And then there's a little section there where I talk about how healing your heart and opening your heart positively impacts all areas of your life. Feeling happy is your new normal. Your heart is a powerful manifestation center and you receive more abundance. People in your life rise up to meet your new standard. There's a whole host of benefits to that. So I hope that by including that analysis really on the heart and healing the heart and opening the heart, you can really understand and really feel into what that's like to heal that center. You know, when we're very intelligent women, we know a lot. We have a lot of information, and the most important journey we make is this 15 inches or so from our head to our heart. And it really has to be felt to be understood. So I really hope that meditation will serve you and really help you to experience having your heart open. It feels like a lotus flower opening in the center of your chest. It feels like a physical opening and expansion. In fact, if you just put your arms out and really stretch your chest and feel that physical opening, that starts to mimic the sensation of opening our heart and really leaving that door open. You know, when I was in Greece with Danielle Page, we did a really beautiful ceremony. I mean, it was just it was out of this world, quite literally. It was stunning. I really look forward to, you know, being in Danielle's position as a teacher who has such a command of those realms. It's really inspiring to be around that. It's beautiful to have had her as a mentor of mine. It's a real honour. And the work that she did was so profound. And when we went through a heart healing guided meditation and an energetic clearing, really, we finished by stepping out of our heart space. And when we stepped in, we opened a door. And when we left, she said, now leave that door open. And I get chills as I remember that, because in so many heart healing meditations, it's, you know, you leave your heart space, you close the door behind you, you leave, and you think nothing more of it. But it was really, really powerful that we were invited to keep our door open. And that's a really powerful metaphor for when our heart's open. Our heart is our power as feminine women, as the divine feminine. It's our power, and everything changes for you when you're connected to your heart. It doesn't mean that life doesn't throw you curveballs. It doesn't mean things are not challenging. What it means is that you're connected to the truth of who you are. And as for the love that it attracts, you know, I hate to be cheesy and talk about the law of attraction, but like does attract like. And so when you're in that really powerful place of being incredibly loving, and I mean incredibly loving, you've cleared your side of the emotional street, you're not polishing a turd, right? You are really genuinely loving, and you're healed, and or at least as healed as we can be while we're incarnated in human bodies. And when you've done that and you connect to this powerful center, it changes everything. You will blow your own mind and your own heart center by being connected to that. It's where your power is. Everything happens there. All the magic happens in your heart, and it has this ripple effect. I'm seeing I think it's from Wonder Woman actually, where she puts her arms up and that light ripples out of her, and there's this like ripple effect, and people kind of like fall over and things explode in the path of this ripple. The difference is though, with your heart, people are not falling over and things are not exploding, but that ripple effect of your energy from your heart going out impacts everyone in its path. And it's really anyone who's been connected to your heart, anyone who's been familiar with your heart, anyone you've kept housed in your heart center for good or for challenging. Anyone that's been connected to your heart in any way will feel that. We're all made up of energy, right? We all are. And I really invite you to be really gentle with yourself, right? Be really gentle with yourself while simultaneously at the same time really healing the things that you know that you need to heal, and work on, and doing so through the lens of really deep compassion for yourself, right? And we can be compassionate with ourselves while also being really firm with ourselves about what we will and won't do. So being compassionate with ourselves is not about throwing in the towel. It's not about that whole thing of like, oh, I'm going to marathon Netflix for 10 hours. It's self-care. That's kind of spiritualizing dysfunction, is it? It's using these sacred terms to justify really behavior that's not doing anything for us but numbing us out. When you're really in this space of being deeply loving for yourself, connecting to your heart, the things that you do are so deeply nourishing. So if you feel like you're using some of this lingo about being compassionate to do things that are not feeding you and not nourishing you, then that's not what this is. It's being so deeply connected to who you are that everything you do really honors yourself. And often that's disguised as hard work, right? It's disguised as yoga or the gym or going out for a walk with your dog, even though it's raining, but you know you feel great when you do that. It's about discipline. Ironically, this might sound like it's contradictory, but it's not. It balances the two. It balances the masculine and the feminine. You know, I've encountered women who are very in their feminine, but they're almost too much to the extreme. And in fact, this came up in my client session today. I had a client who was a very strong woman, very much in her masculine, but by the same token, she had been attending an event, and she was driving to an event as we were talking. And this event was, I think it was like the second or third day or something. This event was a heart-opening and heart-healing event. And the women at that event were... they had no schedule. They were like, let's just see how we feel, and like, let's just step into our hearts. And she was like, what is happening? Like, I need a bit more structure. And it was really interesting because she was at one extreme of the spectrum of being really masculine and really structured, and they were at the other extreme of the spectrum being really feminine and all kind of loosey-goosey and like really flowy, but almost too flowy. And there is a balance in between, and that's being in your feminine, being in your heart, and then having a little bit of structure too, so that you can navigate the world as a human in a vessel and being really in your heart, but also getting shit done at the same time. It's about marrying those two forces of masculine and feminine. I'm really reminded of, it sounds so cheesy, but I'm really reminded of Wonder Woman, the movie. If you're able to watch that over Christmas, I really encourage you to do so. I will probably watch it as well. I've only seen it 3 or 4 times, so it's worth another watch. When I really like a movie, I tend to watch it repeatedly, and I get like different messages from it every time I watch it. And that's such a spiritual movie. It's so profound. I really feel deeply that the goddess energy was really with the production of that piece of art and that body of work. It gives you chills when you see those women riding those horses. It's goddess energy. And Diana, of course, is an ascended master. She's in Ascended Master tarot decks. It's the Keepers of the Light by Kyle Gray. I'm pointing to the floor because I've got my cards and I keep my crystals in a really beautiful little box chest type thing, and it's always under my desk, so they're always there, and I kind of feel like I keep the energy of those beautiful beings with me as I work. That's how it feels. And Diana's also in the Goddess deck, I think, by Doreen Virtue. I think it's by her. So she's an Ascended Master. And so it was really interesting to see that interpretation on screen. And the reason I mentioned that is backtracking to her blend of masculine and feminine energy. Diana's in a very feminine energy. She's not taking no prisoners, right? She's a warrior. She's a spiritual warrior. She's a warrior of love. And those two words, warrior and love, might sound like they're a contradiction, but they're not. They're a juxtaposition. They really fit and meld really well together, like strawberries and cream, if you will. How British am I? What else do I need to say about that? Something's coming through. Yeah, I don't know what that is. I'm just being reminded of the part in the movie where she said God killer, and she thinks it's the sword. And I think the message there is about really protecting yourself from darker energies. I got it. Sorry, I'm talking to the people that have given me the messages. Isn't it great when you're connected to these realms? I'm just talking to the things that you can't see. I'm completely perfectly sane. I got it. So there's a meditation that I did, and it was inspired by Wonder Woman, and it was about psychic protection. So that's why they were saying God killer. It's about psychic protection and protecting yourself from energies. When you, an old mentor of mine once said, your light can attract some very sick people. Be really careful of that. Really protect yourself like a mother. Protect yourself, protect your energy. Listen to that meditation. If it calls to you, I will link it below, wherever below is. On the page, I'll link it on the page. So if you're watching this on the videos page in the Infinite Love members area, then I'll link that meditation down below, just so it's there. It's public anyway, but just so you have reference to it and so you can see it I will do that. And I think that's really apt as well, psychic protection, particularly with, it's hilarious. I just saw the word family and I was just about to say family. I've got a little wheel up here. It's, what do they call it? I think it's called the Life Wheel. It's a really traditional coaching tool about the different areas of your life and where they are on a scale of 1 to 10 and where you want them to be. And as I looked, it said family and it's in red and this is red. And I'm like, I got it, I got the message. So if there's a family member, could be an extended family member, auntie, uncle, nana, grandpa, you know, third cousin twice removed, whatever it is, if there's someone that you need to protect your energy from, then do that. Snowflake obsidian is really good. Black tourmaline is really good. This is labradorite. This was a present from my beautiful, beautiful friend Ruby. Labradorite is really, really good for protection. It's also really good for motivation and drive. And oh gosh, that is one shiny piece of amethyst. I didn't realise how cleansed that was and how shiny. Yeah, labradorite is really, really good for that willpower, and that's masculine energy, so that would be really good for balancing as well, balancing those energies once you've opened your heart. I love you all so much. I hope you have a really beautiful Christmas. And yeah, I'm sending you all lots and lots of love, and have a beautiful and blessed festive season. Sending you tons of love.